Hey, Ryan.
Hey, what's up?
It's been Thanksgiving.
It has, yeah, since we recorded this. The Giving Day was yesterday, a few days ago.
Yesterday, a few days ago, the Giving Day was.
Yeah, it was pretty good. How was yours?
It was okay. I mean, it was good. My parents probably listening
Yeah,
to
but
this.
so
I'll
you
say
said
it's
it.
great.
It was all right.
No,
I
I've just
guess.
got a lot going on right now. I'm in person again,
Yeah, we're in person.
so it's fun. We're recording stuff in Ryan's apartment. His cat has been all by his lonesome
Meowing
for
up
a
a
little
storm.
bit. So we just got back in, set this up before our session that is about to happen at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we're at 4:30.
4:30.
Yeah, because at 4 o'clock we not enough time.
Yeah, we got. This takes about an hour. This takes a lot. This takes like 5 days to record everything.
Something
Get
like
it
that.
done. It's quite the story.
Braxton's giving me this look right now. And I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not entirely following.
You know who else tells stories?
I don't know. He's doing this. He's doing this segue.
You know who tells stories of brave men and women and soldiers who fight valiantly for maybe the church or for a kingdom or something like that? You know who else does that?
Yeah, people work in museums. Tour guides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been? Have you traveled much?
I mean, once.
Did you have a tour guide?
No, I kind of did my own thing.
Oh, well, when I've traveled to like Europe and stuff, sometimes we have a tour guide who will like lead us around.
Like what? Which place? Because you've gone to Sweden a lot.
I've never been to Sweden.
What? You
No,
have a friend that's there, like your best friend.
I know, but I've never gone.
Yeah.
I've been to England a few times, France, Germany, Switzerland, Norway.
Just with your parents?
Yeah.
What?
What do you mean what?
I didn't know this.
Have you not known this? He's known this. He's definitely known this.
I've definitely not known this.
Yeah, that's why I like history stuff so much.
I mean,
I've seen some of it.
Maybe if
I want to go to Greece.
well, then just go if you're going to all these places,
You can't just go to Greece. You got to buy a ticket. You got to get
and
over
then you
there.
just go. Whoosh, in plane.
But
fly
money,
off.
man, money.
You got it. You got a job.
Yeah,
Go with your parents. Just have them buy the
they already went without me.
What? When?
Oh, I don't know, like a couple months ago.
This isn't. You need to spec some points into Bard, man. You're not the best storyteller. I've got to let you know.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, it is. It is tough, but maybe it's a little bit easier.
With some bardic inspiration.
Yeah, and even greater with this new Unearthed Arcana Bard class,
What?
the College of Eloquence.
Are you telling me there's more Unearthed Arcana we got to go through?
We're even with this.
Not
Even with this thing
not
on my
even-
phone that it's in front of me
not
right
even
now,
halfway, I think.
we're not done because they keep pooping out more things.
Yeah,
It's fun. It's good content to talk about, and
it is.
I like going into the things that these things have.
Yeah,
It's a bit more fun that way.
and we're the Dungeon Crawl.
Yes,
I'm Ryan.
I'm Braxton. We're live today, at least between the two of us.
Yeah,
I guess it's live otherwise, but
I guess we're technically always live between the two of us.
it's just not live for you guys. Maybe we should sell tickets to this.
Who would come? There'd be one guy sitting who just decided not to leave the bar that day, and he's just gonna keep drinking,
Maybe. I don't know.
and he's gonna just keep yelling crap at us.
Ow, we look
Play
pretty
that
stupid.
one song.
We don't take requests.
We're not bards.
We're not. But we can talk about them.
Yeah, we can't talk about them.
Alrighty.
What's the new college called?
The new college at third level, as with most things in the subclass region of D&D,
Yeah,
for the bards, it's the College of Eloquence.
that's sweet.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, what
nice.
are your first thoughts when you hear that? What do you think it's going to be?
We're just reading College of Eloquence. It makes me think about kind of like someone who's been studying a lot. First of all, someone who there's those schools people can go to, there's class people can take to have etiquette,
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe. When I first hear eloquence, I do know that I often feel, as I've learned a new language, that I don't speak eloquently in my own
Sure.
as I thought I did. And it definitely, I think, means something. You pulled it up in front
Yeah,
of
it
me.
means fluent or persuasive speaking or writing.
See?
A preacher of great power and eloquence,
Or a bard.
or a bard.
And within this college, the people that study under it master the art of the oratory. Root word there. Is it
Oral.
Greek, Latin? Oral? There you go. Things of the
Freud
mouth.
would have a fun time with this one.
You did not just mean that. These people that work in, like, you already see bards as being very persuasive. Their charisma stats
Sure.
are always very high, but
Out
this
of
is
this world, yeah.
even more focused in you being a silver tongue.
Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with music.
No,
Really.
it's pretty much just speaking.
Yeah, theatrical wordplay, it says.
Which I kind of like. But those of you that want to be a bard, but there's always that little bit of you that's like, I don't play the instrument, or I don't sing, or I can't just spout out random quips really well. It can be tough. So challenge yourself for this. This is role playing.
I think it's also important to know, if you are playing a bard, you don't have to have that stuff.
But
definitely helps.
You kind of do.
Yeah, because I mean, you watch different podcasts, different live plays, and the guy always is playing the bard is dropping jokes, dropping songs left and right. Yeah.
Kind of need to. Because, I don't know. I know Shakespeare doesn't exist in this world, or he could. He could.
At least a knockoff Shakespeare.
Isn't Shakespeare already a knockoff? Oh.
Damn.
You've read the history.
No, I haven't.
Well, some people say he didn't write his own stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Who wrote him? So you stole them from other people?
Yeah. I'm failing all of my theater classes right now.
Wow.
That don't exist.
I'm a jackass.
No, there's Marlowe, I think. I'm not sure. There's some French dude.
Okay.
A couple of people that they're like, this seems like
it's like lesser known guys, and
yes.
he maybe watched their production and like turned it into his own.
Yeah. Long story short, you could dive into that, get really fun with that. I would love to do like a quest on theatrics in D&D, but I don't know if my party would be interested in that. But if your party's interested in having a bard on their side, it could be pretty freaking awesome with this. Considering when just flat off reading this, it really intrigued me because bards, I like the musical aspect to it. I do enjoy that, but theater is my shtick, so I feel like I could make a pretty fun character.
It's also like the stand-up comedian of the bard world.
Yeah.
He just gets on stage, is like, what about those kings?
And if being kind of a jester isn't your thing, as you keep going, you notice a more of a spin on being intelligent or persuasive.
Logical.
So even this guy could be a politician.
Could be. Yeah, that's a good point.
Very, very interesting. There's a lot of role play with this.
And you could add, and then this guy could be like one of the nobles of the world or something. Yes. Yeah.
And my thing with it so far is I feel like it's lacking a bit, and maybe that's just bards in general, lacking a bit mechanically.
Okay.
Because if you looked at the barbarian that we talked about, it just feels there's an inconsistent design philosophy, but it's just because it's pen and paper.
Yeah.
And we go through this, and I change my opinion because we get more thorough when it's both of us talking about it. So let's just go ahead and go into it.
The interesting that you mentioned the noble stuff was really got me thinking. Because these colleges, technically, if there's a bard in your game as a DM, this college has to exist out there.
Yes.
So the College of Eloquence, if it's a noble, maybe there's, when the kid hits a certain age as a noble in a noble family, they go to this college and they join the College of Eloquence and become. But then I guess you could say there's a lot of these kind of magic guys out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of things that when your players make characters, go through their subclasses.
Make sure it's in there. Like barbarians have to have different totems and stuff, and druids, make sure that druid circle exists out there too.
Why do I DM?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. But you don't have to do all that stuff. It just helps make the world feel a little more inclusive.
Yeah, it's just we're trained with video games.
That just exists?
Everything is there. Everything that you see in the game and hear about, it exists in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's just a painting on a wall or you see it out there. Can't go there.
Yeah.
See that mountain, Ryan, over there?
You'd be like, what was that? Artemis Fowl? You know what I'm talking about? There's this children's book that he could see a painting and he could go inside of it, and like he'd solve mysteries and stuff inside these paintings.
Like Super Mario 64?
Yes, that's probably I got it from. I think it came out after that, the series, sometime after that.
I mean, even Dark Souls has that too.
Yeah, Dark Souls sucks. No, I love Dark Souls.
Sorry, I can't do this podcast anymore.
I love the painted world. But honestly, I think next time I play as a player, I want to try a bard. I've always wanted to do a bard, but I've just never had the opportunity.
I really want to put you in my game so bad. We have 7 people, and then one can't do it anymore because he also does a podcast. 2 Chunks and a Hunk.
Yeah,
love them.
check it out, guys.
They do movie reviews, and they're really great, really funny guys. I love them. So he has just a lot of stuff going on. So he left. My soon-to-be brother-in-law is off and on. Love having him in there, but it's inconsistent. So I feel like I can have you in there, but I also enjoy having 5 people.
Yeah, I can always guess if you ever feel like you want to do one extra person. I mean, it's up to you as a DM.
I mean, don't you want to do one in person?
Yeah, I don't mind though.
Okay, I'll think about it. Because Ryan's a really good player. He challenges you.
It's just fun.
he walks up to random people in bars, and you're like, I need to pull a name and a personality out of my ass right now.
Well, I think I do that because I love when you guys do that.
Okay, we'll do that more.
And you can tell too. I love that.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, because I had another player who was like, I just want to ask this pirate a question, and I can see your face go, like, yeah, Ryan's excited about this. I can tell.
Yeah,
and I was excited about this.
Yeah, we're on a massive pirate ship right now, and there can be a lot of different people.
Like we talked about last week.
Did we? Oh yeah, on the question thing.
Yeah, because we had a lovely person write in.
Yeah, that was so fun. I really enjoyed that. Nobody else wrote in since then. Carcer's our #1 fan. Okay.
Maybe they are.
You know how long it takes us to get through these. We should start getting underway for this.
Tim, we just been waffling for 10 minutes here. It's all right.
I guess 10 minutes waffling is good.
Yeah, mechanically. Now that we've kind of covered the RP and the lore stuff of the College of Eloquence, diving right into universal speech.
3rd level.
Yeah, which basically you use a bonus action to expend one of your bardic inspiration die, which is important. And when you do so, you roll the bardic inspiration, which I believe at this level, when you first get, will just be a D4.
Mm-hmm.
You can whatever number it chooses. So I'm jumping ahead of here. You choose a number of creatures within 60 feet of you. You can see that equals to the roll. Yes, I was saying the same stuff. And then for 10 minutes following this, they can magically understand you, regardless of the language that you speak, and regardless of what they speak. And you can just kind of get a little bit of advantage on talking with this person and make them bend to your will.
I love,
which is pretty cool,
roleplay universal remotes like this.
Yes,
where you can just reason and speak with anything.
Yeah, because there are times when you guys are trying to communicate with something, and none of you have or comprehend languages available, and it's just like there was an orc that the party was trying to converse with, and it just kind of turned into, I like you, I like, and just doing like hand.
Yeah, you saved my life.
Yeah, because at least the orc knew the basic understanding of common, and none of them knew orcish.
No, he's a good guy. We gave him some meat after his entire family got murdered by like a wyvern or something.
That's always, I mean, if my whole family got murdered, I would hope there's someone out there with some meat to give me.
Hey, next time your friend's depressed, just slap your meat at him.
Oh no. Oh no.
Sorry, don't do that. That's the last thing you want to do.
Make sure they're okay with it first.
Get him a nice steak. Are you pulling up the player's handbook? What are we doing here?
Hey, I just wanted to double check how many bardic inspirations they get.
Have you seen the bard picture?
Yeah. You want to go back to it?
The guy looks so freaking cool. If you have your player's handbook or a PDF,
carrying a loot,
like they could whack somebody with that loot.
Yeah.
So bad. All right.
It's probably magical loot too.
Probably. How many bardic inspirations do they get?
So, is it really not on this? Okay. Oh, it's actually D6. I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's D6.
Does it stay at D6 the whole time?
No, it does go up. Like level 15, it's D12. And it goes at 10th level is D10, etc. I believe it's equal to your. This shows how little I play. Yeah, it's equal to your charisma modifier.
Hey, I mean, you may be not a player, but I'm definitely literally just a warlock.
That's true.
I know next to nothing. I know fighters a bit more now.
So let's say, for example, at 1st or 3rd level, your charisma is a 4 plus 4, then you'd have that many bardic inspirations.
So if you're making a bard, you want your charisma to be
super high.
Right away.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing a flawed campaign where your guy starts off wanting to be a bard.
Yeah.
You can improve your ability score over time. Do fun things like that. That could be fun.
Hey, that would be a fun player to have, because then they obviously don't care too much about the mechanical stuff.
Yeah, make sure you've got a group of people that aren't trying to be optimizing their party, aren't trying to do that.
If you are out there listening, you do that. That's okay.
Maybe not.
It is.
Okay. Well.
But I like universal speech because it's like one of the warlock starting stuff too.
Yes.
And the sorcerer stuff that we read 2 weeks ago. But the interesting thing about it is that you can choose more than one. You roll your bardic inspiration die, you can choose, let's say the die D6 and it rolls on a 5. You can choose 5 creatures and I'll talk to all 5 of them at once. Yeah.
See, it's so cool. It starts off great because at 3rd level you get another thing.
Yeah, soothing words.
Yeah, and you can cast calm emotions without using a spell slot, which is freaking cool. You use the feature number of times equal to your charisma modifier. So if you have a +5, you can use it 5 times until a long rest. You can just cast Calm Emotions 5 times if you've got +5.
This is the interesting, because this bard, and I guess you could argue some of the other bards too, are not really combat centric. A lot of this stuff is very specific about role playing stuff. And I think that we kind of skipped over it, but the cool and important thing about universal speech is it also says with a creature, the creature doesn't have to speak any languages.
Mm-hmm.
So you could talk to animals.
Yeah.
How cool is that, man?
It's really cool. It's
instead of casting speak with animals or something or copying languages, just pull up this bard guy.
Now, I do know bards have their own spell list. How many of them are exclusive to bards? Because that's what I want to.
I don't think there are any exclusive to bards.
So how do you play a bard? And maybe we'll have a podcast on specific classes every once in a while. We probably should. But I'm curious, and I want to talk about this later. Maybe not in this podcast. How do you keep from being bored as heck during combat as a bard, especially as this?
Well,
bard?
you do. I mean, do have spells.
Yeah,
combat centric spells and stuff. I mean, you also don't have to be just a spellcaster. You could have some melee stuff in there.
Well, something that's also interesting as we keep going.
Yeah,
I like this one a lot because it's undeniable logic.
6th level.
6th level. The flavor is you can spin words laced with magic into a knot of reasoning that can be encouraging or impossible to follow. As a bonus action, you can expend one of your bardic inspirations. Mm-hmm. When you do so, creatures within 60 feet that can hear you, it's cast on them, and then you roll your bardic inspiration die, choose one of the following. Creature takes psychic damage equal to the number you roll, so up to 12, at your highest level, which is all right. And it makes an intelligence saving throw equal to your DC, or they have disadvantage on their next saving throw it makes before the end of your next turn. So it's a small amount of damage and forces
or healing.
Healing.
Yeah, the other thing it says it can heal people.
Yeah, and forces disadvantage on somebody for a saving throw.
Yeah,
which I mean, it's a 6th level thing. That's pretty cool. It's pretty snazzy. Yeah. And the second one, just like Ryan alluded to, is creatures regain hit points equal to the number on your bardic inspiration die. Pretty...
I mean, a lot of bards have, it seems like a lot of debuff and buff mechanics as well.
Yeah.
Which I mean, in games, I've always liked having, like in those of you who played Darkest Dungeon, I don't think it's called bard, it might be, but the bardish like character debuffs and buffs things. And I've always liked having something in the party that can just damage, like I guess Warlock too with like Bane and whatnot, and Grave Clerics I think can do that too.
So think about this. Say you're in a cave.
Okay.
And there's a pretty obvious answer, and not everybody's watching the bard cast this spell on something.
Yeah.
But they cast disadvantage on an enemy, a goblin or something.
Sure.
But realistically, on the map, nobody's facing that way, nobody sees it, and the character doesn't announce it. Are you okay if the other players metagame and go hit it?
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, I wouldn't want somebody to waste one of their inspirations.
Yeah.
Because you only get possibly up to 5. And it's also important that inspiration can also be given to another party member. And so all their ones here are them using these
themselves.
Giving them to themselves. So yeah, well, it's always, it's something like Counterspell. It always just feels bad whenever you just say, you get the players all excited to cast something, then the DM is like, actually,
it's the blue player in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it is.
But when you get into the meta of Magic the Gathering, you kind of know how many counterspells are in the standard.
Sure.
For this, a lot of the time, you just assume it's a wizard or this class. They're probably going to have a couple of uses of it. It's never fun.
Yeah, I tried to only put, I'm only going to put counterspell in if, you guys start counterspelling stuff.
Can and that counterspell?
Yeah, you could. But that'd be a lot of spell slots wasted on it.
Nah, it'd be hilarious. So wait.
I think you could. I would imagine. Well, yeah, I would rule you could.
Well, does it work like Magic, the stack?
The stack.
So does the effect have a period where it hasn't resolved yet and a reaction can exist?
I think it just happens.
I think it just snuffs it out. So even if you counterspell the counterspell, your spell is still countered.
Yeah, so I don't think you can counterspell the counterspell.
It's not like Magic where it's
not like Magic.
I'm going to wait until the thing happens.
Yeah, there's no stack.
Reactions are kind of like the stack.
Kinda.
I actually am very curious about that. If any of you do know
Send us an email.
Send us an email at thedungeoncrawlpod@gmail.com. There you go. Thank you. Take the next one away. Yeah, this one sounds fun.
Yeah, so 14th level, Infectious.
Now, 14th level has kind of been the showstopper for a lot of these classes.
Yeah, it's the big final, and this is no different. This is the big final.
I've got some expectations, Wizards of the Coast. Okay. Let's go.
All right. Infectious Inspiration already has a cool name. I like it. Again, when a creature, so this is, let's say, if I give Braxton an inspiration, he can,
Thank you.
At this level, I believe it'll be a D10. And then the next level will be turned into a D12. So he rolls a D10. And whenever he rolls this for an ability check, attack, roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails, like say he rolls the hit and it doesn't hit, which with a D10, if you're rolling that and you still miss with your D20 roll, that means you're probably fighting something pretty scary. Then you can still decide to, you don't lose the die, you can keep it and use it again later. In addition, it also says, when a creature adds one of your inspiration dice to its ability check and the roll succeeds, so it's the opposite, if it works out for them, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature that can hear within 60 feet, giving it a bardic inspiration without expending. So it's basically kind of like like it says infectious, it passes along, which I think is very cool, since they only get up to 5 of these.
Now, Ryan, here's my problem. That's it.
It's infinite, though. Think about it. You're helping your bros just keep hitting stuff. It just keeps going around.
But that's all you do. That is your entire subclass.
Sorry, no, it's not infinite. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. So you can use it 5 times. But it's 5 free inspirations.
Inspirations are kind of lackluster.
Oh, you just haven't had a bard in your party yet.
But that's the whole subclass.
Yeah.
For those of you that really need all the bells and whistles, I don't know if this subclass is the thing for you.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, many of the bards are similar to this.
So maybe I've just not played one.
To me, they're a lot different than most other classes. They're not really combat-centric. They're mainly about powering up your friends and powering up yourself as well.
I suppose there are a lot of spells in the game that I don't pick up because I know I need to do damage. So if there's a class that is geared that way, to where you have the mindset of, I want to pick up all of the status spells.
Yeah. Well, think about it like in Monster Hunter. When you're playing with a couple people, you don't need to have the hunting horn guy.
Yeah.
But if you do, it helps out.
Yeah, but that guy can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, this guy can too. Can he? Think about if you cast Big B's hand at like 9th level and then punch something. That's a lot of damage.
What is Big B's hand?
It's like Mage Hand, but bigger. And you can punch things, and you can have it get in the way of stuff.
Can other people do that?
But yeah.
Then what's the point?
But other people can also cast.
I'm so mean to other subclasses.
Well, I'm just saying,
man.
A lot of there are some bleed overs for other classes too with spells. I mean,
I'm definitely way too harsh on other classes. It's so funny.
He just wants to play Warlock.
Well, it's the best.
It's all right.
And with D&D, you can play with any number of people, so it's like they don't know you've played Warlocks your entire life.
Until they watch you play and you're just the best Warlock ever.
I wouldn't say I'm the best. Warlocks are flawed. That's the best thing about them. Damn. You know,
I think, though, conceptually, this is a really cool thing.
I think it's cool, and I don't think every class or Unearthed Arcana subclass needs to be 5 pages long and have an entire table of random rolls that it has to work through. Yeah. But I mean, this next guy is pretty cool.
To end this one off, though, I am interested to see what they'll tweak for this, because I would say this. I could see this being in a book already. There's nothing broken about it. There's nothing too crazy. There's nothing too underpowered. I think it just works.
It fits very well. This could have been in the player's handbook, I would say. It could have just flat out put it in there. It's done. That's it.
I'm very intrigued to see how they'll tweak it. Though my one sad thing about this whole class, it's not planar focused. So that
it does psychic damage.
A lot of things do psychic damage. Just makes me think, I'm curious where they are going to be heading with this. If these are in one book, how will this fit in?
I want them to release I know the player's handbook is titular, and that's the player's handbook.
Yeah.
I think things like Eberron, if that's what it is, are great. but it feels like an add-on, and I know that's what they're going for. I want something this is core.
So it's something that's like detached from.
I want like a player's handbook too.
Something that's not in like Forgotten Realms or Eberron. Or...
I want something that everybody thinks this is player handbook 2.
Yeah.
This is something that is meant to be used.
I think they're gonna hesitate to do something like that, though.
I agree, but I think.
But is that cool. Let's say is that a good thing for them to avoid having?
I think they don't want to force anybody's hand to think that they have to use something. It's all over every page that they print. This is playtest material. It's
important also because they've done this. They've done that before. They had like 6 monster manuals
Xanathar's
for 4th
guide
edition.
Works, I'd say.
Yeah, it's almost like an addition, like an extra.
But Eberron
expansion.
feels like a DLC that doesn't pull everybody because it's like, oh, this is an entire story that I have to get into if I want to use stuff. Is there
an adventure in there? It's just the world.
I don't know.
I'm sure there is like definitely small quests. I'm curious if there's a full on. I haven't gotten the book yet.
Yeah, because it feels like unless you're doing Eberron, you can't use those things.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like to me. Versus Player's Handbook, where it's just smack. This is.
To be fair, I do feel weird like having Warforged in my world because it's so ingrained into Eberron, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
what's the difference when these guys come out? How are you going to feel about putting all these planar guys into your world when they're so
it's different.
tied?
The planes are in everything.
Yeah, but what?
I guess they don't have to be in your world. You don't have to have a way to get to the hells or stuff.
Do you think
like
you'll
that.
feel that way if they're so ingrained into their own world? Like, what if the planes are completely different?
I don't know. I guess if like depending on if there's lore with these as well, I don't know. It's something to think about.
Or like people stuck in there was like, don't change my D&D. Don't do it.
It's something to think about for sure.
I love add-ons and mods to anything. It gives life to something that's become stale.
Skyrim. That game would be dead without mods.
I didn't mention it this time. I'd just like to say that. I was going there.
When someone mentions mods, though, that's the first game I think of because they fixed the game for Bethesda. I cannot imagine playing Skyrim without mods on.
And GTA 5 would be the same thing. It wouldn't be where it is today.
That's
GTA
true.
Roleplay, I'll give it to that.
Well, that's still mod, though.
True. I'm surprised Red Dead doesn't have that as
well.
They're
making it. They're already in the works, yeah.
I think Red Dead's so much cooler. It's harder to mod because of how unique it is. But with newer games and as they come out, it's harder to mod them because they're such complete experiences.
Especially if they're tied to an IP, like an existing IP or like a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
They cannot release mod tools for because I could put Mickey Mouse. Well, I guess it's Disney. Never mind. I can't think of something that's not Disney anymore.
Also, this whole podcast just got taken down because you said Mickey Mouse.
Well, they could put anything into the world, and that could be a whole sue fest, copyright strike.
Yeah, but I just think about. I watched this really great video, and I wish I could had the YouTuber for you guys. I think it was a Reddit post I saw, but he talked about how developers that have been working on the PlayStation, like PlayStation 1 and 2, as the console generation jumped to 3 and 4, very large leaps in hardware, they transitioned to the DS because that was basically, and I mentioned this to you the other day, the same hardware as the PlayStation 1. So these people, this group of developers have been creating content for things as powerful as the PlayStation 1 to this day until the Switch came out, which is why I think Pokemon is the way it is right now, Sword and Shield, because it's handheld developers making a console game. They're showing their growing pains.
Because, Switch is also a handheld game in a way.
It is, but it's console powerful.
Yeah, it is.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah, Witcher's on there.
Yeah.
Doesn't look great, but it's on there.
No, it doesn't look great. But for any game, even if it's tabletop, there's a few things that always secure the longevity. One is mods.
User content.
User content.
Yeah.
Second is server. Basically, putting the game in the hands of the players will keep your game going on forever.
And look at the DMs. Have you gone to the DMs Guild before?
No.
DMsguild.com. DMsguild.com.
Do they make things?
It is exactly what you're talking about. It's basically, Nexus mods for any game mods. It's basically that, except you can buy stuff that people have made that are D&D centric.
That's cool.
And there's some amazing stuff on there.
There's just something without that Wizards of the Coast seal of like, we made this. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And what I was getting at with the jump in hardware is, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to come out, was a tabletop game.
It's true.
modders are having to have a larger skill set to add things to these games because textures are in higher resolutions.
Yeah.
Everything's more complicated. The world is so densely packed. Like, Skyrim's pretty damn barren.
Yeah.
It is so easy to plop a town.
Like, let's remove this forest and put a cool town in it, or a cool quest that goes through.
Trying to remove an entire building with scripted scenes and people walking around on their own cycles in a game like that.
Are they going to be mod tools for Cyberpunk?
They mentioned it. They talked about it. There's going to be mod tools.
Well, that's interesting because Witcher has mod tools, but not to the extent that you would want it. Because you can't make a whole
for Witcher is small.
Yeah, you can't make a whole quest line in there. That's also tough if it's like Cyberpunk stuff's going to be voiced and whatnot. You can like Skyrim, you can tell when it's just some dude in his apartment doing a voice line for a mod.
There was a big info dump for Cyberpunk, and sorry we're kind of going off.
That's right. We still got half an hour.
We're good. But they said that there's going to be motion capture sex scenes.
Yes.
Keep in mind that everything is now in first person.
Oh. I don't know why they feel weirder.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more intimate. It's very weird.
I'm curious because Mass Effect had sex scenes, and those always look so stupid.
Yeah.
Witcher did too, but those looked a little better.
So I just think it's interesting they're sticking with the motion capture thing, and you're in first person. You're not gonna be seeing.
And how much are they gonna be showing? Like, am I just gonna be
whatever your eyes can see?
This is gonna be turned into a XXX film.
I imagine it will start breaking some barriers in terms of what is shown in video games without censorship.
I mean, it's rated M. It's not gonna be rated A, right?
I don't know. People who rate things. That's another.
Adults only, yeah. That's also that doesn't really get placed.
Nobody will buy it.
Exactly. It can't be placed in shelves.
But those things, let's not get into the MSRP rating.
Yeah, I just don't know what constitutes as a adults only rating.
If it's anything like the movie industry, do you know about that?
Yeah.
It's completely arbitrary.
Yeah. We actually passed a lot. We passed a few
oh my God.
adult video stores on our drive today.
What was that guy's name? It was just 2 letters. Something's adult video store.
Some bro out there.
Liquor exit now. So you think it says exit now for liquor, but the store when you see it off of the exit is just liquor exit now. It's a white shack with a drive-through.
You get into the middle of nowhere, man. You start seeing all sorts of weird stuff.
I don't know, man. But my brain is struggling for a segue for this. Speaking
of weird stuff.
Oh, this guy's weird.
No, this guy's cool.
This guy's cool. He is the hero.
I actually really like this guy a lot.
I do too. He is.
I'm curious if we like him for the same reason.
We'll see. Let's get through it.
There's crap on the bottom of my water bottle.
Actual crap?
I'm touching it, so I hope not. No, it's like I don't know. It's like a fruit snack. It looks like
he's got what looks like a Yeti or something. He's kind of touching it right now.
like the drink, like the cup Yeti, not like a monster Yeti.
Thanks for clarification. I'm sure they were very concerned for our safety.
Well, because be touching a Yeti, that seems weird. Anyway, the Oath of Heroism of the Paladin
is to touch a Yeti.
I think I'm the only one in this group that's in this group. I mean, us too. That's played.
Calm down there.
That's played a Paladin before. Did you play one? You played a fighter. I know that much.
I think I've played a fighter twice.
I played a Paladin for a brief one shot. Your one shot.
Yeah, that one sucked.
That one didn't suck.
It was all right.
Paladin at high level came pretty crazy though.
This guy's gonna be crazy. He's like, if you're wanting to make a guy that is literally the embodiment of just known throughout the realm,
that's why I like
it. The guy.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so fun.
So the Oath of Heroism is an affirmation of a destined path, one laid out for you by divine hands. Why I like this, and it kind of gets into a little bit later, I don't want to read the exact thing, is that it's first of all, I've always loved the lore behind paladins and clerics. Just because as a DM, it allows to think of things otherworldly. Why I love warlocks. Things that are outside of the material plane. You get to think of gods, deities. You get to think of, for warlocks, creepy patrons that are out there in the unknown. With this particular thing, you get to think about how they've impacted the world at large. And specifically the Oath of Heroism, this guy's inspired by the heroes of old. That means there have to be cool adventurers in the past that this dude just kind of follow in their footsteps.
So it also says that it's been laid out for him by something. Now, I know there's a lot of anti-heroes.
It's the chosen one.
Yeah, there's a lot of anti-heroes, and you may be tempted to play this character as somebody who has the destiny but doesn't want to go for it. I love letting people change the characters how they want. If you're playing a warlock and you want to go with the patron with a different thing, I'm okay with that. I know Ryan's okay with that. We've done that in our thing. This class is specifically geared towards a guy who has accepted this heroism and goes down it.
Yeah, so can't turn away from it.
So you can do it. I don't want to force your arm, but I want to say that if you're role-playing this, it just works so well.
It does.
That's how it was made.
Yeah.
It's this guy that sees the destiny and doesn't turn away. He's like, hell yeah, I want to fight some monster. Yeah. Heck yeah.
And it allows you as a DM, and I would also work with the player to decide who inspired this guy. What made you go down this path? Who are these heroes? And then they're part of the world, and the world feels that much wider and cooler.
Well, you know what further proves my point of you can't play this guy? There's a lot of nuance you can have with somebody who's accepted their destiny, but there are literal tenets for you to follow of heroism.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and I'll rattle off
Here are the tenets.
The words. Well, it's action over words. Challenges are but tests. Embrace destiny and hone the body. There are descriptions for these, but honestly, take them in whatever way you want.
Yeah.
It's really freaking cool. Do any other classes have something like this?
So each paladin, I was making sure each subclass has these tenets because they have to follow them to get their abilities. If they break them, then you can lead into the Oathbreaker Paladin.
Isn't that just cooler?
Can be. It depends on the character. Right, depends on the character. Depends on the player.
You know, Oathbreaker Paladin gets Eldritch Might, right?
Yeah. Technically, it's only supposed to be for villains. So if they break their oath, they're kind of headed down a dark path. But it's something like this, similar to warlocks, and changing if their patron is not happy with them, working with them to tweak the class that they are and tweak the subclass. I would do the same thing with the paladin to kind of change the way this works.
I want to meet my patron so bad. We're getting there. We're like 8th level right now. We're going towards something that has been a lead for the longest time.
Yeah, long time ago. You guys heard about this place.
Oh my God, there was a whole ordeal too. It's finally coming to fruition. Okay.
That's basically it's lore background of these guys.
That's me not knowing enough about subclasses and that the paladins had these.
Which is why we should do some class stuff. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we should. I'd learn a little bit more, be able to talk less out of my ass for some things. Improv's great, but I like to know some stuff so I can improv more. Improv needs learning.
It's true.
So keeping going, you get some extra spells. Haste gets tossed in there, which is cool. Expeditious Retreat. A lot of
utility stuff.
A lot of utility stuff, which is really cool. We don't need to get into that too much, but there's stuff for 3rd level, 5th level, 9th, 13th, and 17th of the levels that you reach. Lots of good stuff. More heroic spells, essentially.
And then we get to the cooler, fun stuff out of the spells.
Of course.
Channel divinities.
Which every paladin I do know has. That's how you use your paladin powers.
And clerics as well.
Really? Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Just they work differently.
So you do get 2 abilities when you channel your divinity. Peerless Athlete. So this is a really focused, physically based class. You can use your channel divinity to kind of buff up your strength, your athleticism.
For 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes. For a bonus action, you gain advantage on strength or dexterity rolls, specifically for athletics and acrobatics.
I don't have an issue with this, but this seems really tough to pull off.
What do you mean?
How are you going to know when athletic and acrobatic checks are going to be coming up? Besides, obviously, I'm climbing up a mountain right now.
That's exactly what they're for.
Yeah, but how often are you climbing up a mountain?
Well, I mean, we had a gap in a bridge that we needed to jump over at some point. JD is going crazy.
Yeah, it's not going to come through in post. No, my cat is going nuts out there.
Ryan's been gone for like 5 days. So.
Yeah, so he's
to me, it seems like these would be abound. And maybe you're doing kind of a reconnaissance thing. That's not his style. He just jumps up a building and stares from the top of it.
Yeah, it's definitely some instances this can be quite handy. Don't get me wrong.
I'm kind of surprised you thought there wouldn't be a lot of things. Like, I think it's a very strong ability, so I'm sure they picked athletics and acrobatics so that you wouldn't be able to abuse it all the time in that kind of moment. So it is, when you channel divinity, is it a full action?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, it's your bonus action.
Oh, not a reaction. So that's the
Yeah.
key thing. The name of this one just scares me.
Legendary Strike.
Like legendary action.
Legendary actions are fun.
Take it away.
So Legendary Strike, I think, is the bigger of these two. Is that if you roll to hit somebody for a minute, it only lasts for a minute. But if you use it in combat, that's like 6 rounds. Sorry, 10 rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then it's a critical hit on a 19 and a 20 instead of just a 20.
Hey, you know what that reminds me of?
Your
Hexblade.
Yeah, Hexblade dude.
Yeah. So they're kind of recycling some stuff, flavoring it towards the class. But
I can see this. I feel like this would be used at the beginning of 99.9% of combats because why not?
Yeah, doubling.
There's
your
no
crit
downside
chance.
except you use up one of your channel divinities, and it's a bonus action, so you can do it and then go attack somebody.
Yeah, that's risky though. You could not be using it at all. You never get the 19,
but you have a better chance to crit
twice.
Yeah.
What happens when you get your Mighty Deed ability at level 7, right?
Level 7. That is your actions. Again, more RP stuff coming in. Your actions on the battlefield can supernaturally bolster your allies and demoralize your enemies. And I would, as a DM,
this is Bard-like.
I would also play the stuff up. Granted, I do that already for you guys at your level, like you said, 8 now. People start to recognize your deeds and things you've done. But for this guy, it's almost necessary.
Yes.
If people aren't recognizing his stuff, then he's useless. Not really, but I mean
useless.
So
JoJo's reference.
Whenever you score a critical hit, and if you're using Legendary Strike, that happens more often, or kill something. Granted, it says reduce each creature to 0 hit points, but more often than not, that's gonna be killing it.
You just punch your own party member.
Sure, you can choose one or more creatures that you can see within 30 feet of you. So you could do up to your charisma modifier. So you could, in theory, do your entire party. Does it say including you? No, but I would say you could, right?
Reduce yourself? Oh no, a creature gains temporary hit points equal to 1d6 of your charisma modifier.
I would say you could. Why not? All the chosen creatures are affected by one of the following effects. You can either, similar to the bard that we just read, can either heal somebody. Granted, it's temporary hit points, not really healing, but it's something. 1d6 plus the charisma modifier, or they must succeed on wisdom save or be frightened lead to the beginning of your next turn.
Do a cool thing. Cast fear.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
You'd even shout something.
Yeah. So for a group of you that are super great at role playing, like you're so entertaining, you could probably do a podcast right now for a let's play or like a role play. Why are you listening to us? This guy could be so fun.
Yeah, I think it really encourages the nitty grittiness of close up combat for a paladin.
We're getting exciting here because this is one of the only ones in this Unearthed Arcana that has a level 20. We're not there yet, but look forward to it. It's got level 20.
It better be something crazy.
It's definitely not like the Hexblade, which I'm sure in practice I'll be very excited.
Yours is not level 20.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Never mind.
But level 15 is Glorious Defense.
More close-up stuff.
More close-up stuff, of course, because that's what they do. You are now blessed with your accolades and glory on the battlefield, and you can misdirect an attack.
Yeah, kind of like a riposte.
It's kind of crazy. Whenever you see a creature and it hits you with a roll of the attack sort, you can use your reaction to gain bonus AC against that attack, maybe causing it to miss you. I don't know.
Hopefully.
You can make, if it misses, you can now make a weapon attack against the person.
Which is probably the biggest part of it.
Yeah. And
though it does use up your reaction.
Yeah, it does. But especially if you've got other things active, you're getting a lot of chances for crits here.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe if you've got a sword of sharpness or something like that, there's a lot of room for craziness.
There's a lot of room for craziness.
A lot of room for craziness. It's pretty straightforward, though, but it's fun, I would say.
Yeah, you can also supplements Mighty Deed as well.
Yeah.
And then if you also have Legendary Strike, like you said, it just more attacks mean more opportunities for this big ol' strike. It also keeps the tank aspect of the paladin alive and well. I mean, you don't want him taking way too many hits, so being able to raise the AC is always a lovely, lovely thing.
Sorry, I'm just reading the next one.
What's the next one called, huh?
Living Myth.
The Living Myth. So he is now embodied the legends.
So
which I love. It says right after that, whether true or exaggerated, told of their great deeds.
Bonus action.
They're the embodiment.
Minutes. You want to know what this does?
I'd love to.
You now become blessed with otherworldly comeliness and gain advantage on all charisma checks. So imagine this guy in tandem with the bard above him.
Mm-hmm.
You convince everybody to do everything. Bard's like, don't believe me? This guy's here. And he's like, I am the greatest. And they're like, yeah.
He is.
He is.
Yeah, he said so many things.
I know. I haven't met him, but he's even... I've heard
Roll
things.
a persuasion check with advantage.
I don't have dice in front of me, right? I can't do that.
Not you.
I got a 25. Sorry, I rolled another dice. Got an 82.
They're very convinced.
Another one is, once on each of your turns, when you make a weapon attack and you miss, you can cause that attack to hit instead. So for 10 minutes, if you miss, you just hit.
Once. You could attack. I'm pretty sure they get multiple attacks as just being a pally down.
When you make a weapon attack, once on each of your turns and miss, you can.
Yeah, they do get one extra attack.
So, I mean, you're whacking, and then you're about to do your Eldritch Smite, and you don't want that to miss.
Yeah, you can just make sure it hits.
It's just like your sword's going, and you just look and you go, no, okay, there you go, and you kill him.
Or even cooler, as I could word it in combat. Because you have to miss first.
Yeah.
So the blade goes by, the hammer, whatever the heck you're using, goes by, and then you decide to make it hit. Then like some divine force like grabs the sword and shoves it into the creature.
Chops her legs off.
How cool is that?
Well, if you fail a saving throw, you can succeed it instead.
This is like a legendary resistance.
So this one doesn't say once. This one's just for 10 minutes if you fail a saving throw. You succeed. You're level 20.
Yes, so that's the important aspect of that.
You're level 20.
Yeah.
So
would you say this stacks up for level 20 feature?
I would say so because the things you're going up at level 20 have so many things that cause you to do a saving throw. This guy just stands there and goes.
Imagine someone, let's say you're pretty hurt, you're fighting a lich, you're getting close to death, and then it casts power word kill on you.
Nope.
Let me make sure that has a saving throw.
That doesn't it just kill? He's typing.
Right. There's no, so you just die anyway. Never mind. Never mind. Forget I said power.
What do you
kill.
do against that? Counterspell?
Counterspell, or make sure you have more than 100 hit points.
That shit scares me, man.
That's 9th level though. It's 9th level spell.
That shit scares me.
Keep in mind, if something uses that on somebody, they're out of 9th level spells.
But they're dead.
Hopefully.
Well, you probably have a spell that will instantly raise somebody back up.
Hopefully.
Stop.
That's the idea.
He just wants to kill us. But that's the living myth, the legend himself.
Yeah. It's pretty badass, man. I think it's a great subclass for a paladin, and especially like you said, the 20th level spot continues the RP aspect of it by I mean, you're level 20. There's gonna be some sick legends and myths told.
Sick, bro.
Totally sick, bro.
Dude, there's some sick ass.
Bro.
Have you heard about me, bro? The name's Thaddeus, man.
Thaddeus?
Whoa.
What if there's two of these guys talking to each other?
Whoa.
Are they just?
You're Thaddeus too?
I'm Thaddeus as well.
Holy. Wait, those deeds I've heard are you?
Those dudes I've heard are you?
Bro,
we're the greatest.
And they clasp their hands together.
Isn't Thaddeus one of my characters in my campaign? Yeah, Thaddeus Black. Don't give him this. I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast because he's full of himself in the campaign. Let's not do that. Oh,
but I think it's cool because there's cool legends already being told. Then you can finally embody those and become the legends of old.
Well, really, I mean, this kind of progression was there already.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, depending on how the DM wants to recognize their players in the campaign. So I think it's cool that they
just puts
make a character that says, hey, if you weren't planning on doing this, you have to do this.
You have to. You're forced to. I also get a lot of ancient Greek hero vibes from this guy.
Very much so, yeah.
Like Hercules.
Like sword and shield, bash, wacky whack.
I meant more of the myth and legend aspect of it, but sure, that as well.
Style-wise, I'm sure you could be that way. I got a burp.
Yeah. There was a specific thing that
Ugh.
Which one was it?
I don't know. In the Oath of Heroism?
I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm thinking of one of the other classes I already looked at.
Like the new one?
No, I have. It definitely was this guy, wasn't it?
Do you remember anything at all about how it made you feel?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
It's all pretty damn cool. I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
Damn, I don't remember what it was. It was this thing where you could do this cool stuff and.
Thanks for that.
Oh. It's Conjure Volley.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
So think about a paladin with Conjure Volley. Do you know what that spell does?
Nope. I'm the conduit for the audience that doesn't know a lot of stuff. It's okay.
It's not even, I don't even have it in my... Okay, we'll have to look it up.
We're getting free form here, guys. Conjure Volley.
There it is.
All right, let's read this.
It's
you fire a
5th level
piece
spell,
of
but you get it at 17th level.
Non-magical ammunition from a ranged weapon, or throw a non-magical weapon into the air and choose a point within range. Hundreds of duplicates of the ammunition or weapon fall in a volley from above and then disappear. Each creature within 40-foot radius, 20-foot high cylinder centered on the point must make a dexterity saving throw. 8d8 damage on failed save,
or
half as much.
So,
150 feet.
First of all, your first initial thoughts: a paladin using this, who's supposed to be close up range. What are your thoughts?
Isn't he gonna get hurt?
Depends on where he is, obviously. Yeah, it's true. My thought process is, first of all, what ranged weapon are they using?
Javelin, probably.
Javelins. How cool is it for a paladin to run up, toss this javelin into the air, and then like 1,000,000 javelins come out? It's like, have you seen the movie 300?
No, I know what you're talking about.
Like
I just not.
the sun
I feel like this should be
blot
doing
out
way
the
more
sky.
damage.
It's 88. That's a lot of damage.
That's a max of 64.
60. How much health do you have right now at 8th level?
113.
That's like more than half your health.
I'm still alive.
You're almost dead now.
This should kill me in one hit, Ryan. Hundreds of javelins.
Each creature.
How much damage does a javelin do?
40-foot
Ryan,
radius.
How much damage does a javelin do?
I think it's like 1d8.
It should be 100d8.
Yeah, we're not getting hit with all of them.
Well, how big's the radius?
20, 40 foot.
Okay,
so
well,
imagine you're hitting, think about all the creatures you'd be hitting with a 40-foot radius. It's also important to think about your friends in that radius. That's actually kind of scary when you think about it, because that's huge.
Change Conjure Volley to 100.
That's an 80-foot.
Actually, it says,
diameter.
it says hundreds.
Yeah. Plural.
That's at least 999 or less.
Yeah, but I think about it this way. So it's a javelin, okay? It's a javelin.
Yeah.
You only occupy 5 feet of space.
You call me fat?
No. There are bigger things out there.
Okay.
5 feet of space. I could say probably only 8 javelins can fit into 5 feet of space.
How thick is a javelin? We need to get some math out of here.
Man.
Somebody. We need to
So
post this
honestly,
on Reddit.
granted, it doesn't say that, and that might make it really stupid. If it's a large or huge creature, I might even rule that does more damage.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, what if it's a literal 40-foot radius slime? And they're resistant to piercing damage, but I think they are.
Probably.
But still.
Cool thing is, this is
only
this is,
8d8.
as it says on this page, it is a ranger only spell.
It's cool. I love the spell. I think there should be some. It might make the spell too complicated, but if the creature is large or it does this damage.
And you are getting this at 17th level for the Paladin.
Yeah, 64 damage at 8th level. If you roll 8 on every die, is nothing.
But 40-foot radius is a lot of things you can hit.
Yes, I agree. It's an AoE spell. It's not a single target spell.
And you'd get it 17th. You could use it once.
Make your spells more complicated, please. Wizards of the Coast.
Well, there's lots of cool resources out there that do that have spells.
Well, super easy. If the creature is of size X or Y, it does this damage.
Sure.
It does that damage because it gets hit by more javelins.
But that's where we moved away from that stuff in 5th edition to make it easier for everybody to understand.
Oh no, am I a 4th edition?
No, I don't think
edition?
I'm just saying I don't think it's been done. It might have been done before. But my point saying they wanted to dumb down, not dumb, maybe that's the wrong word. Make it easier for everybody to get a part, which I think they did a great job on. We've talked this before. I think 5th, this is the most popular Dungeons & Dragons has ever been. Granted, is it because it's easy to understand? It's probably part of it. But also in large part of due to all these shows that have made it popularized.
I think it just came at the right point with all of the streaming coming about. It just was there at the right time.
True.
It's simpler. People could pick it up and do it. think we did it.
We did do it.
I thought that said Brad. Initial thoughts. Lore. Brad wins in combat through the use of logic and theatrical
He
wordplay.
does.
He doesn't win in combat. His friends win in combat.
He could win. You got a problem with bards, man.
I got a problem with it anyway. It's not warlock.
I mean,
Fighters are okay.
What about the sorcerer from 2 weeks ago? That's like a warlock. That's like warlock, but that's better than a warlock.
If it doesn't have the letters,
think of all the spells you can cast.
If it doesn't have the letters WARLOCK in it,
you had to work to spell that.
I'm a warlock. I don't spell things.
That's true. You don't have a high intelligence.
I got like 13, 14.
It's not high. It's average.
No, 10 is average.
Well, the 10's like a...
10's average. 10 is normal human ability.
Yeah, so you're just a little bit smarter than an average Joe.
That's like halfway.
Congratulations.
That's like 1 point away from halfway super smart.
Congratulations.
20's super smart.
You got some creepy motherfunster in your head that's telling you what to do.
Me the shit that I give to all the other classes.
Yeah.
I'll warlock it up tonight. You'll see.
I'm actually curious. Speaking of other classes, I was actually thinking about saying, I don't know why. I wonder if Pathfinder 2 is out yet. I would imagine I would have heard about it if it was. I know it's still being being tested for a while. I'd love to see, because I love Pathfinder has an extra skill ceiling to it, but I love the amount of work that I think Paizo is the people that do it.
Is it space
put
only?
into it? That's Spelljammer.
What?
So you think of Spelljammer?
No, I've heard Pathfinder was like space.
No, you're thinking of Spelljammer.
Oh, okay.
Or Planescape.
So is Pathfinder medieval?
Pathfinder is basically people who love 3.5 edition and did not like 4th edition and made their own game. So that's why it's a little bit extra skill stealing to it. There's more numbers and crap to go on, but the amount of work that Paizo puts into their products is unreal.
Good thing we're called the Dungeon Crawl.
Well, that's
just in general.
When we did DM's binder, I've grabbed so much stuff from Pathfinder in my DM binder. They do great work. Their modules are leagues better than most of the D&D 5e modules. And I love the 5e modules, but because they have like 6 books for a series and it follows a storyline. You could just grab one of the books and just do that. It's a standalone. They tell a huge quest from 1st to 20th level.
Yeah, don't be locked down by just D&D 5th edition or just D&D in general. It's all tabletop. It's all great.
I've gotten great ideas from looking at Call of Cthulhu modules for our games. I've stolen stuff from Pathfinder modules and tossed them in.
You're not a blasphemer if you switch.
No.
Like the people that say, hey, you have an Android, grow up, get an iPhone. Like I've heard that statement from somebody. Grow up, get an iPhone.
I feel like it should be the opposite. iPhones kind of are going downwards.
I kind of feel the same, but removing any sort of like your like child if you have something like it's a phone.
You like My Little Pony? Sure, why not?
I saw a 5-year-old girl with an iPhone the other day.
Good Lord.
Does that make her an adult?
No. Makes their parents.
Where are you going with that?
Why does a 5-year-old need a phone? A smartphone of all things.
Why don't they?
What are they going to do with it?
5-year-old phone things.
Look at Ninja playing Fortnite.
Maybe.
Matt, the other things that they could find on that Mixer website,
I saw an advertisement over Thanksgiving, and it kind of touched me a little bit because my grandmother passed away a little bit. Her name was Nana. We called her that.
That's what I call mine.
Yeah.
Grandmother.
Do you call your grandpa Papa?
No, I don't.
I do. This commercial was Nana and Papa, literally, and these 2 kids had an iPad, and the whole
I know you're
commercial, you see them playing with it. The parents seem like they're kind of baddish parents because they're just handing off the iPad, like, hey, watch something. Every time they grab the Apple Pen, and you're like, what are they doing? They're not watching.
Yeah, these damn kids.
Right? And then Thanksgiving rolls around, and you're thinking that these kids are just watching shit on their whatever, but they made they found the VHS tapes of their grandma and like stitched them all together and somehow put them on the iPad, which they would have had to use a computer to do, but it's whatever. And managed to make a nice like photo album for their grandpa.
It's a cute thing.
Young people can do great things with technology.
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying technology is a bad thing.
I get the sight of seeing a dead-eyed person.
At like the dinner table
staring
with their family.
at a phone, put that in a kid, they're just blindly looking at it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Like I was out for a walk a couple weeks ago.
Good job.
And thanks. I try to get outside every so often.
Yeah.
And I saw a family out. I was like, oh, this is great. They're getting some good family time. They're hanging out. No. They're all on bikes, biking. And then you see this teenager.
Biking. Riding 2019.
Well, you see this teenager in the back on this little Segway. You know, those little
yeah.
Yeah, and he has his phone, and he's just hanging out with them, but he's not really hanging out with them. Everyone else is biking. The little sister's biking. The little brother's biking, but he's just cruising.
I want to hang out with that guy. He seems cool.
He doesn't.
He seems cool.
He seems like a jackass.
You saying people on Segways are jackasses?
I just don't understand. I don't understand those things either.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I just don't understand those things.
It's low effort.
But what about? Have you seen Wally?
Have you seen Paul Blart Mall Cop?
Yeah.
How cool is that guy? He's
not that cool.
We'll agree to disagree.
I mean, he does save the mall and people.
He gets the girl, kind of.
Does he? I don't think I finished the first.
You could ask the guys at the Adventure Zone. They do a yearly watch of Paul Blart Mall Cop.
No kidding.
Yeah. They have an entire
second
podcast
one too,
for
or
it.
just the first one?
I think it is the second one.
They only watch the second one.
I think that is it. I could be incorrect.
Maybe the second one's better. I never finished the first one.
Hopefully, people improve on what they did before.
Kevin James is kind of cool, I think.
Segways are now cool.
Speaking of segues, some segue to our conclusion.
You could have done that better, but yeah. This has been the Dungeon Crawl, now turning into the video game design /
Yeah, these are probably our most waffle of our
I enjoy it though.
Yeah, I like it.
Because we get a good amount of content in there and I feel like you get to know us, what we talk about. But it's the Dungeon Crawl, be it through D&D, Pathfinder, or life.
And we are going to be taking a brief break from Unearthed Arcana next week.
Okay, I gave him a look. I was like
he doesn't tell me he's leaving the podcast.
He's like, I got a deal in San Francisco, new podcast, guys.
Podcast out there. I just want to dip my fingers in. Or dip my toes, actually.
You can dip your fingers. Yeah, no, we're taking a break from Unearthed Arcana.
Just for a week.
Before that guy tweets out something else and says that, if Warlocks get it.
So if you guys like Unearthed Arcana, then I'm sorry.
It's coming. He hasn't released a new Warlock subclass yet.
Did you read the new ones?
We went over them, didn't we?
Like the new ones.
Wait.
The 3 that he just released.
Is there a Warlock in there?
No, I don't know. Have you looked at them?
A little bit.
I'm just curious which
I
classes
haven't actually read it. It's not Warlock.
Do you know what classes they are?
Ranger.
There's a rogue, I know that much.
Rogue. Fighter.
Fighter?
Yeah.
I was going to say fighter too. Yeah,
they're all psionic.
Yes, which is cool.
Yeah. Warlock's coming next.
I'm curious if they're going more in psionic besides the planar book that we've talked about in the past. But with Baldur's Gate 3 coming out, if you've seen the trailer,
when is that coming out?
Sometime next year, I don't know. But it's heavily there's mind flayers, obviously, are the big bad dudes in it.
Yeah.
And I know they're working, like Mike Merle is one of the guys from the Coast, is working with Larian to make Baldur's Gate 3. So I'm curious if
they're going to be the same style, top down.
I believe so, yeah. I think they said they're possibly going to be doing Larian's the guys that made who's making Baldur's Gate 3?
Larian Studios.
Oh, so it's Larian. Okay.
I think so.
I was thinking it might be the people that did Pillars of Eternity, but I think you're right.
No, they stopped doing the Divinity Original Sin.
Yes, because they are
MOBA. What was it going to be?
I think you're right. It sounds something
mobile.
Something.
They were going to release something like that, but they put it on the back burner because I think Baldur's Gate. Started getting into it.
Yes, you're correct. And so it's gonna be turn based and stuff. I think it's gonna be the same idea.
Yeah. Cool.
No, well maybe. I think they actually did mention because Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 are not turn based.
No, it's the kind of top down.
So I think they actually mentioned it might not be turn based, but I heard inklings they might have a setting in there to do that.
I just played a lot of Smash last night, so
sorry.
that just gave me like PTSD. I play Inkling, so they should be the one with PTSD. But welcome to our Waffle Cast. This is the Dungeon Crawl.
The last 5 minutes, I don't think we got a single bit of actual information. I was just wondering if I'd heard this thought about something else that I'd heard.
That's what a podcast is.
Man. It is freeform thought.
Freeform thought. I've been Braxton.
I'm Ryan. Thanks for hanging out, guys. 10 minutes from now, I'll be DMing, so I need to go to the bathroom.
Do us the doobly-doo on the iTunes social media, which we are hoping to start doing more stuff with. We took some pictures today.
At the Dungeon Crawl. No. Oh, at Dungeon Crawl Pod.
At Dungeon Crawl Pod.
That's our Twitter and Instagram.
Or shoot us a message at the Dungeon Crawl Pod. No, not at. TheDungeonCrawlPod@gmail.com. Thank you. I'm Braxton Lambert. I just gave you my last name.
That's okay.
It's fine.
I don't remember. That's it, I guess. I was going to say something else, but I lost my train of thought.
His last name secret.
Take care.
Goodbye.